Good morning. I should be live on everything. So today's the day. Today is finally the day. Let's hope it's not a big old dud. Live on all three. So I'm just going to do some homework. I haven't quite finished it yet, but I'm nearly there. Markets will open in approximately 54 seconds. "30 seconds, to be exact." So that line there represents where the gap is, so we have a gap down. This is the FTSE, and here's the DAX. I wonder if I can copy that line. Probably have to draw. I can do that. And that's just 19,015. Which would be there. So there you go. There's the gap up. And so looking at the 30-minute chart, you'll see that the DAX is just seeking the orders. It really is like that old saying, an old trader I worked next to on the trading floor. He said, yeah, they take it down to take it up, and they take it up to take it down. It's like, yeah, that's what they do. That's the fuel. That's the whole point of the double bottoms and the double tops. Anyway, I hope you're well, and that my voice is meeting you. Bright and bushy. Just going to go through some of these charts that I posted yesterday. September was also a gap down, and then there was a relatively tight trading range until the news was released. August was also gap down. Relatively tight trading range, and then the news was released. July, big push up, big push down. June, actually quite a trending move. Also trending lower. July was trending up. May, very difficult morning. April, big push down. So the first bar in the FTSE is the first bar positive. Up here you see the gap. That's the gap fill. I think if we start trading at 73, then the odds are there that we're going to see a gap fill. The 30-minute chart has suggested a double bottom on the DAX. The line you're seeing on the 30-minute chart here, it's the same line you're seeing on the 5-minute, and that is where the market closed yesterday. So this represents gap down. Bone broth. So I have a sell signal in a FTSE down at 8254 minus 1 point offset. So I want to have a look at the FTSE on the hourly chart just to see what could be interesting down there. But, the FTSE is in a extended multi-day trading range. I think that would reflect on the daily chart as well. Yeah, that's a lot of overlaps. Yesterday overlapped the previous day. Previous day did take out the previous day's high. That in itself, the previous day was an inside bar on a daily chart. And here's the DAX. Sorry, I got a bit of a croaky throat this morning. There was one person, at least, who said that they were buyers down here, basis the 30-minute chart. That was good trading. Well done. one, yeah. I have a long signal at 73 in the FTSE. I put in an order up here to buy. I'm long the FTSE now. Stop loss to 66, please. Excuse me. I'm taking half profit here at 78.9, 79.4. Thank you very much. Closed half at 79. I'm closing the rest here at 79.4. Actually, should I just wait? See if I can actually get my gap fill. But this is the, let me get rid of that. This is gap fill, obviously, but it's to stop here. I thought, yeah, it'll probably struggle up here. Stop loss needs to be to break even anyway. All right, I'll be patient. Clicking out a bit though. I think I can limit. Just try something. 10. Oh, okay, that could work. All right, let's see what has triggered over here. So there's the gap up, and remind me to teach you the FTSE technique that I just used. It's not something I ever told you, but it works really well. So remind me to tell you. I'm really groggy this morning. I played the the most punishing game yesterday. I was wearing a pulse meter while I was doing it, and my pulse was peaking around 165, 168. It's just considering I'm 55 years old, it's quite high. And I lost. So yeah, I just thought I'd add that just so in case you're wondering. Oh, he's such a superstar. Yeah, nope. It was a bit like a David versus Goliath. I was David, and there was no happy ending. but there you go. I don't actually mind that when you play someone who's really good. I just take inspiration from observing how they're dancing around the court. So really just work of art, how some people can understand the geometry of it. Oh, look, go. I never use profit targets, but I am today. That would be so. Oh my God, it worked. There you go. That's so DAX aggressive school run has triggered. Let me just go through that with you. I'm not in the trade. This is the first bar. 1, 2, 3, 4. Beautiful bar. And if we measure the length of that, it has a high at 19,007 and a low of 18,986. I think the offset of 2 points is maybe it will be okay on a day like today because it seems to be much less volatility. So the range here is actually quite impressively small compared to what it has been. So the range here is 14 plus 7, so that's 21, plus whatever offset you're using. But say you wanted to use a 4-point offset. So that's what it would look like. It would mean that you would want to be long at 19,007, call that 19,008 plus 4, so that's 19,012. So that's just about where we're trading right now, if you want to take that signal. And the FTSE is, I'm going to delete this first bar, positive. Maybe that was the more obvious target. This line here is the gap fill, and here's a FTSE on a 30-minute chart. So maybe I was a little bit too keen on taking profit. It would seem. probably a short position up here in the FTSE. Wow, look at that FTSE. I didn't think the DAX had it in it today. Today will be a somewhat shorter EU session. I unfortunately have to have a little operation this morning. When I was younger, I got a couple of teeth smacked out, and I need to have them replaced. It happens periodically through wear and tear, I'm afraid, and that's happening today. Wow. You know, I wouldn't mind if I could just address something. It started with an article that I wrote, a little bit of verbal diarrhea, earlier this week. It was about comparing myself to other traders and fear and the likes. But I think what's lying at the heart of the matter is that I don't feel that I'm trading very well at the moment. It's not that I can't see the market. It's more that I don't want to act upon what I am seeing, or I don't want to act upon some of the things that I have seen. And I think that it goes a little deeper than that. If I was trading a more normal size, say I was trading, I don't know, but so when I execute a trade, I trade the equivalent of, well, it depends on your nomenclature, I suppose, but I risk in the DAX £200 per point movement in the DAX. Let's just have a look at the school run. So the school run this morning has got a low of 18,986 and a high of 19,029. So the high just came right at the top end of the range. And it's not that let me see if I want to be really clear about what I'm saying. You can hear I'm tired as well. Today I think you can. I'm finding that I haven't had as much risk appetite in the last 2 weeks as I am perhaps used to. This year I have swung around some pretty big size but ever since I came back from the August holiday, I haven't really had that risk appetite. And the only thing, the absolute only thing that I can think of is that I am tired. So you may say, well, why are you tired? Well, I am tired for a couple of reasons, but I think the primary one being that I'm training comparatively hard physical training. I work out in the morning, and then I usually work out later on again, doing something. And while I try to get as much rest as I possibly can, I slept 9 hours last night, and I feel good for it, but I also ache because I trained yesterday morning, and then I played a really punishing session later. I don't know if my energy levels have anything to do with my risk appetite, but I imagine that it does. And so you would be saying, well, would you take aggressive school run if you were trading, say, half the size or a quarter the size? And I would say, hand on heart, absolutely. I wouldn't hesitate. I just don't know if I would want to risk 200 pounds a point, but I really don't mind risking 50 pounds a point. Yeah, of course. 100, sure. But when it becomes to get above that, for some reason, and as I said, I can only apply this to myself and my own comfort levels and my own ability to handle discomfort. But I feel personally that right now, without being too specific, but being really honest with you, is that I don't seem to have that appetite right now. And I wonder what it would be like if I took 2 or 3 really thorough rest days and did nothing. Just sat in a sauna, had a massage, those kind of things. And I think, without knowing it, but I think I would. I think I would immediately want to go, yeah, I want to go back to swinging big size. I wonder if it has anything to do with the levels of epinephrine circulating in your body, or maybe dopamine. And so maybe the excitement of the physical activity has left me somewhat depleted for what I would perhaps get my kicks on in other endeavors. Look, I'm hypothesizing. I can only be honest with you and honest with myself, but I do know that some of you have asked questions, and I'm very respectful of the questions you're asking, because I like my YouTube session and everything that I do. I like it to be a transparent reflection of the human condition, as opposed to me wanting to show off and say, hey, look at how good a trader I am. Sure, there are days that I'm a good trader, and days you are a good trader. But of course, what we are seeking is the consistency. But as a friend of mine said a couple of days ago, we all have to have space for a wobble, where we're wobbling a bit. And I said, well, what do you do when you wobble? And he said, well, we use that as feedback to understand ourselves. So, well, what's going on? And so I hope you don't mind me just talking about this, because I have an urge to talk about it. Perhaps because by verbalizing it, I'm also acknowledging it in myself. I'm also acknowledging that I am perhaps not quite on. Hey, I just thought I'd put myself on camera just to say hi. Perhaps I'm not 100% in understanding why I am feeling that trepidation. because I don't think I'm doing anything different in any other endeavor. Yeah, physical exercise has really taken a high priority because I have some goals I'd like to achieve before the year's over. And I know that I'm not going to come sleeping to those goals. And I hate to bring in age again, but I am the oldest I've ever been. Bit of Tom logic there. and I feel in a really good form. I feel very strong. And when I look at the key markers of health, I could see, right, okay, that's the lowest weight that you've had now for 10 months. Okay, check, good. Not quite at the goal, but that's a good step. And your body fat percentage, the lowest it's been for 10 months, check. Muscle ratio, highest it's been. Those are good things. But as my personal trainer frequently says to me, you're not eating enough calories. You need to actually eat more. So okay, fine. And maybe that's the connecting argument between, right, I don't feel as when I hit it. And I just wanted to talk to you about that, because I think that trading is a very multi-variable, multi-dimensional endeavor, and it would be foolish to think that it was just all about mastering a particular technique, whatever that technique may be called. And for someone who frequently writes about it and goes on stages and talks about knowledge and the will to act upon the knowledge that we have acquired, I am perhaps feeling somewhat of a hypocrite, going, well, you're standing on a stage and you portray yourself as this man that has knowledge and you act upon the knowledge, and then right now you're not acting on the knowledge to the full capacity. And rather than just being dismissive of it and come up with some feeble excuse, I would rather just confront it head on, because I think honesty is the best policy towards yourself. What you do with the rest of the world is up to you. Generally, I still think that how you live within is how you should live without, so you have to be honest in everything you do. And if I can't be honest with myself, well, then I certainly can't be honest with you. And so by me verbalizing and saying, I don't understand why I'm not as willing to swing the bat and really go on 200 and have another 200, you fucking dax. I am much more hesitant. So there you go. So it's just something that I feel like I'm going through, and I'm trying to understand that aspect of myself. You know, the saying, the two wise words. There are two sayings I absolutely love that I think sort of sums up the philosophy that I would like to say that I'm in possession of all the time. One, know yourself. That's really wise. And the second one, I love that, is that when you are going through shits, this too shall pass. This too shall pass. Look, I'm probably never going to be one of those YouTube traders that is going to be never flaw, never fail. My techniques are infallible, because I know I'm not that person. I value my life experience too much to pretend. For me, I had a very good conversation with a friend yesterday who knows about what I'm doing, as a job. And perhaps is one of those few outside my trader colleagues that I open up to and describe the money that I make and the money that I lose. Because if you sit next to a gentleman who earns a decent salary, and then you say to him, all right, so you're on $60,000 a year. I lost that this morning. They would think you're a gambler. And anyway, I sidetracked. So I am keeping an eye on the DAX and the FTSE. Don't think I'm just here waffling away, although it does seem like I'm waffling. So we were having a conversation about why I'm doing what I'm doing, not in the context of speaking to you, but as a job, but also health. And I said to him, I'm not doing the live trading because of the clap on the back. I'm doing it because I find that it's difficult when you have other people looking at you. And I find that it drives me to become a better version of myself. The reason why I like to play squash players that are better than me is because they bring out the best in me. The reason why I like to go to the gym, so for example, if I'm going to Frankfurt later in November and I'm gonna train with Andy and Herrick, my friends, and the reason why I like to do that is because I know that Herrick is a prolific lifter, and so when I see what he can lift, it inspires me to push myself harder. But you don't necessarily have that in trading. And then when you do find some people, and this is what I alluded to in the article, when you do find some, it is perhaps disappointing to not really know whether it's just a demo account that you're trading, and that's like a tenth of the trading experience is hitting the button. It's managing the two brains so you don't experience cognitive dissonance, which is a posh word for feeling two things at the same time. There's a conflict in your mind about trading, and then the fear of losing, or the fear of missing out, or the fear of whatever the fears are called. Fear of being wrong. And so I find that there's a disturbingly lack of role models in the trading arena, sort of in the YouTube. I'm sure there are some, but I haven't really found some. And I got some of these that are sending me videos of their progress, or they're showing me. I'm thinking, but it's a demo account. What? It's good for you. You're demonstrating your entry technique, but the real heart of the matter is the emotions behind it. Look, can we agree that if we're sat playing a game of poker and I'm sat with a royal flush, fine, but to put on discreetly a big chip or increasing your bet size, well, that's where the real challenge is. Anyway, so that's why I had this conversation, because I definitely feel I'm struggling with size at the moment. So that the DAX right now is my entry technique would say that we should have been long from aggressive school run, from 19,007. So right now we would have been 40 points in profit, and from traditional school run we should have been long from 19,035. And if I was trading this in, say, half my size, I'd be fine. But right now I don't have the inclination to trade big size, and I don't know why, other than that perhaps I'm feeling somewhat burnt. And it's and it has nothing to do with I'm not going through a major drawdown. I'm sat P&L wise at the high of the year. I'm right here. But of course, there's also, you have to be really mindful of this. And there are many great researchers that has explained this, and I'm extremely mindful of it. I have never actually spoken about it in public, so maybe this would be a good time to discuss it. But there's also some people that once they solidify their financial status, they become far more risk averse. They are no longer embracing risk how they used to, and which got them to where they are now. So they're more about consolidating. And that could also be an age thing. What is the saying? Where probably if we blow up in our 20s, we'll have ample of time to make the money back. But if you blow up in your 50s, there isn't that whole much time to recover it. David Paul once said to me, or he said it to someone else, there comes a point in your time when you are more concerned about the return off your capital than the return on your capital. He say, you basically are much more interested in do I get the money back, as opposed to how much interest am I being paid on the money that I'm earning. So anyway, I don't wish to make this I'm just burned out because I exercise too much, or I'm just an old fart. I think the truth is far more nuanced, and I'm sorry to have wasted your time on this. It wasn't really, I didn't sit down this morning going, today I'm going to talk about cognitive dissonance and why I am struggling with trading size at the moment. It sort of just happened. And if you find this not interesting, then I suppose you would have tuned out by now and chalked me up to just another fucking has-been. I can understand that. But if you found that this was interesting, then you perhaps have something to contribute to the conversation, then you're more than welcome to write to me in Telegram. Because I think I'm struggling a bit with it. I imagine some of you will write, well, then just trade half size. It's still big size. Well, but it isn't so much whether it's big size or not. You do understand that. It's not. I'm not saying, I don't thrive on I'm a high stake trader. I just merged into one. But let's face it, I'm a really small fish compared to the big hedge fund traders. I imagine, right? I have to be. They're high stake traders, perhaps also trading other people's money. So I'm trying to get to the bottom of it, and I know that the only way of really doing that is to be very honest with yourself and not run from the truth, because it might be painful to you, but the rest of the world doesn't really give a hoot about your particular problem. So they're yours to own. I'm trying to touch myself here. That didn't come out right. I'm trying to touch myself here. It reminds me of an interview that I saw on YouTube. It was so cute. It's just sprung to mind. It was about a female tennis player that was interviewed courtside after a spectacular comeback in a tennis match. And the interviewer was talking about a phenomenal comeback. You were down 2-0 and you won 3-2, amazing. And she said, and just bear in mind that her English perhaps wasn't the best, yes, I like to come from behind. And the audience just erupted into this roar of yay! I thought it was hilarious. I think everyone thought it was hilarious. So I think we'll leave it on this rather cheerful comment. We got non-farm payroll coming up later today, and I will keep battling away at my trading size. I am sure that my biggest trading size isn't behind me. I'm certain it is in front of me. But right now, I'm seemingly going through some personal challenges that needs thinking through and solving. All right. Well, it's not all bad. I did make money this morning. It was a okay footsie trade. Hey, thank you for being here, as always. I can't thank you enough. It's nice to have someone to talk to. I haven't yet decided how I'm gonna play non-farm payroll. I know that I'll be playing it using the rule of 4, but I don't know whether I'm gonna do it here on YouTube or I'll just do it on my Telegram. But maybe it would be a good lesson to have it on YouTube. So unless I'm completely thrown up because I am drugged up because of this little toothy thing, I think I will. Stay strong, okay? If you're going through stuff, just don't sweep it under the carpet. Own it. Be honest about it. That's how it's going to get better. Whatever it may be. It's just human condition. Stay strong. See you soon, okay?